Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to Chai Beauty, where I get to share my thoughts, my dreams, my aspirations, my visions for the future. And guess what? You get to be along for this journey because we are in this together. So, as we continue to chapter 5 in your book, it's called The 10 Laws of Boundaries. And the first law is the law of sowing and reaping. The second law is the law of responsibility. Law 3 is the number of power. Law 4 is the law of respect. Law 5 is the law of motivation. Law 6 is the law of evaluation. Law 7 is the law of proactivity. Law 8 is the law of envy. Law 9 is the law of activity. And finally, Law 10 is the law of exposure. And overall, when I think about these laws, they are leading up to the high level of you wanting to be free. And understanding that each law represents something. And you have to think about what does it look like for you to be free and walk into your authentic self. Is it understanding that you have a responsibility to your neighbor and to yourself? Or have you not been reaping your consequences for things you've been sowing into there? Is it because somebody's interfering and they have boundarylessness? I think that's the word. Where they're not respecting your boundaries and they don't want you to be hurt, so they interrupt so you never reap your irresponsible behavior? Is it the law of power where you're trying to be over controlling? Or maybe you haven't even admit that overall as human beings, we are all powerless and we haven't confessed and we haven't repented about why we're so powerless. And understanding that we are powerless gives us a certain type of freedom because we know that we can't do anything without God. Because at the end of the day, God died for us. And sometimes in this book, it talks about praying and saying, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think wisdom is ultimately the best thing you can ask for because we are all ignorant and we're just doing the best that we can. We're learning from our parents. We're learning from society. We're learning certain social norms just through observation. But however, if we go to a different country, it's all different. So I ask you, what are you ignorant about? What are you trying to be free of? What are you trying to do next in your life? What are you trying to become ultimately? I believe that the law of exposure is very important. Without exposure, we don't know what we don't know. We can't respect anything. We can't be proactive. We can't even ask for help because we just don't know. And I've learned in this year that I didn't know a lot. At 27, I thought like I've been through so much. Maybe I have like at least 10% of what I know. And the truth is I only have 3% and I'm powerless. That I can't control these things. So, yes, I have depression and I'm looking for help and I'm getting the help and I'm on medication and I go to a counselor because I just need an outlook to talk about what I'm dealing with so that when I come home I can have peace and I can sleep and I can still be proactive because when you don't have the medication or the neurals sessions to change your brain, you end up just sitting and being lazy. And God tells us that, like, yes, we need to care for those that are timid and shy. We need to care and we need to have patience because we don't know what other people are dealing with. But at the end of the day, like, we all are trying to do our best. We all are trying to get to that freedom. And also understanding that you are enough can be really challenging. I think ultimately when I read this, that part about freedom really spoke to me, because that's where this season I've heard freedom, freedom, freedom. And I'm trying to grasp, what does freedom look like for me? I am a person that had a dog, had to put it in foster home and eventually give it away because I couldn't handle the responsibility of an animal due to a life and event. As I told you prior, it caused me to have short-term and long-term disability, and still trying to figure out what does my new normal look like. It also taught me that some people don't have grace for disability. So like, I walk slower than people, so some people have like tried to edge me out the way. But that made me more conscious of other people. I think without exposure, not without exposure, and second, without being in that position, you don't have that patience for other people. Like, I've always, like, when I seen somebody with disability, just good old Southern hospitality. Like, you open the door for it, you ask them, do you need help? Yes, they can do it, but sometimes they be tired and they be like, help me. And so I've always had that, but my heart has softened for the vulnerable community. My heart has softened for physical therapy and learning about health, and learning about not only the physical health but the emotional part that goes into it. Because for a while I thought, like, hey, I'm so caught up in like physical health, I can put off that mental health. But in reality, they they are always teetering left to right. And it caused me to spiral for a little bit. It caused me not to. It caused me to see the signs, but be like, I've held on this much. I can hold on a little longer, until I couldn't hold on anymore. And luckily, I had just a great primary care that was like, hey, I think you should see a psychiatrist. I think you need to look into some things. Think we just need to make sure that you're doing the best that you can do. And also, let's recommend some places you can go to talk to with your insurance. And I was truly grateful for her just listening and saying, hey, you are seen, you are known, and you're of value, and we're going to get you the help that you need. And also being like, if there is someone I referred to you to and they're not giving you the best explanation, feel free to like come back to me and we can talk through whatever treatment plan that they have for you. Because everything isn't easy. I would say walking in freedom is not easy, and sometimes you stumble, you fall, you hit a blockade, you hit an obstacle that you never even knew about, or you thought everybody had this obstacle. And sometimes you just find new tricks. And in that cycle of life, like, we all go through something, we all deal with certain things, we all, like, at some point something's gonna happen with your career, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. You can get laid off, you can get fired, you can get put on a PIP, you can get a manager you don't like. You're gonna struggle in a season, but that shouldn't hold you back. That shouldn't make you feel like you don't know what's happening next. You should just be patient and think about the good times to hold you over, but also evaluate everything around you to figure out what is next for you. Because I can promise you, learning the 10 principles, really can put things in perspective, that you can put a name to what you're experiencing. You can put a name to what you're seeing and be like, oh, I know now how to handle this. And that just comes with just trying, as I'm going to continue to say in this season 3 and maybe more, you're just becoming. And it's okay to becoming. But overall, everyone is proud of you. And you just taking the initiative to learn is just as important as you saying out loud, yes, I'm powerless. Yes, I can't do this. Yes, I need help. Yes, I need the resources. Yes, I don't have the money for the resources. Or yes, I do have the money for a resource, but I really didn't like that resource you gave me this time. Can we try something new? Because none of us can read your mind. None of us can experience what you're experiencing. None of us can grow for you. But as long as you communicate, we definitely can help you. And so that's all anybody truly wants to do, is to help you be the best version of you. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this pod. Also, the past pods and all the ones you anticipate in the future. I've loved your comments and your reviews on Spotify. And as we continue to grow, I continue to think of other ideas. So currently, I'm investing in my website. So visit www.chaibeauty.org. There's no space. And you can see how I'm extending our community together because we are a family. So thank you.